Hey guys! I hope that you guys are doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Shikha and I welcome you to my channel and to all the different videos I've been doing on INFJ stuff. I hope that you guys have been enjoying them and that you guys have been learning from the different videos. In this video I wanted to speak to you guys about how I wanted to kind of expand a little bit upon the leadership video that I did. You know how we're really good at dealing with crisis situations. Someone mentioned something, some comment, I don't exactly remember, but I replied saying, you know, if I am in a situation, there's a lot of leaders around, when there's a lot of people who want to lead, then I don't actually give a shit about leading. I really don't want to step in and take someone else's responsibility away or take someone else's leadership role away. I really don't care. If you want to be a leader, go ahead and lead. It's fine with me. I am not going to fight you for it, right? I only step in as a leader when I feel like obviously there's a crisis situation and no one is stepping in and everyone's panicking and I feel like there needs a leader in the situation. There is a need of a leader and perhaps I feel like I'm the only one who seems steady enough to step in at that moment in time. It's a really interesting situation, and you know how I've spoken about this several times in many different videos, how we are a paradox, right? We're so filled with contradictions. And so we are a leader, and at the same time, we're not a leader. We don't really give a rat's ass about the whole situation. We don't want to fight you for it. And I've had this happen to me many times where there are people around me, and they're the gung-ho leaders. They're the alpha leaders. They're the ones who actually want to lead, and they want to pummel everyone into the positions that they want them to be in. And they're really excited about the whole situation, about being a leader. And I guess they gain some kind of power or some kind of ego thing out of it. Whatever it is, they want to be leaders. It is an ardent desire of them. It's a need. It's so strong of a need that they will beat everyone down for it. In that situation, if people look to me to lead, but there is already a person who really wants to freaking lead, I'm like, just go ahead and lead. I am not going to fight you for it. Go, please go and lead us. Tell us what to do. I'm fine standing here and following the lead. As I said, I don't mind. I really am not really intensely needy about becoming a leader. I really don't want to. Actually, in fact, it's easier if I am not a leader because I can just let someone else lead and I can just do what they tell me to do, and then I can go back home and live my normal, simple life, right? And as I said, if there's a situation where it needs a lot of leadership, then we will obviously step in. The reason why I wanted to do this video is because people start thinking of us as, I think this has happened to me at least, people start thinking of us as weak because of the fact that we don't actually push our leadership upon other people. My mother, when I was younger, used to always call me mentally weak because I would never step in and take in a leadership role. I was pushed into it by many different people, and I would be like, all right, cool, I guess I could be a leader. There were a lot of young kids around me. We lived in an apartment building when I was in the Middle East, and there's a lot of young kids, and I was one of the older ones and one of the more creative ones, and I would come up with all these games for us all to play, and I was forced into it. I really didn't want to. I was happy just sitting in the corner by myself playing tennis on my own against the wall, or just sitting on my own and watching everyone else play. I didn't really want to be the leader, but of course everyone liked the games I made, so I was like, all right, cool, fine, I can do it. And that kind of apathy that used to come into the situation, my mother always used to look at it as one of my mental weaknesses. Like, she used to look at it and say, why are you so weak? Why don't you actually want to be a leader? You have all the qualities for it. You could be potentially a very good leader. You could potentially lead a lot of people and go into politics or go in some kind of leadership role. You could become someone really, really great, but you just want to sit back and do your own thing and live in your imaginary world in your head. You don't actually want to do all the different things that you can or are capable of doing. And she would always kind of put me down because of that. The same kind of thing happens when I'm in a relationship, and it's something that really irks me. One of the reasons why I don't like being in a relationship is because the people that I'm with are always saying exactly the same thing to me, saying that, why don't you step up a little bit more? Why don't you play the leadership role a little bit more? Why don't you take a stronger lead in the relationship or in your work or wherever it might be, because you are capable of it. I'll give you a quick example of this. We were moving. I was helping my ex move. Then we were dating, but now ex. And so I was helping him move, and there were 4 of us. So it was me, him, and a couple of his friends. And so we're trying to move this item that was a little bit heavy and a little bit hard to maneuver. And so everyone had their opinion in the matter. No, don't do this, do that, move it this way, maneuver to pivot, this, that. Everyone had an opinion except for me. I didn't actually say anything. At that moment in time, I was standing there thinking to myself, okay, everyone else is saying something. If I add my own voice to it, it's going to be completely useless because it's just one more voice in the noise, in the cacophony of noises that's already there. I really didn't want to create more noise. Everyone else already has an opinion. We can follow their opinion. I really don't need to add to it. And we're not going to follow all three people's opinions because they were all varied. So we're going to follow one person. And I thought it'd be the best thing if he was the one who we followed, my ex, because it was his stuff. We were moving his stuff. And so let him be the one who kind of leads us, because if we break something because of his lead, then it's his fault. It's not our fault. Anyways, all this stuff was going on in my head, and I was just silent, and I was like, all right, whatever you guys want to do, I'll do it. I'm not gonna obviously talk about it. Later though, we're sitting down having pizza after the move is completed, and I'm just chilling out in my head, and one of them starts talking about, I think it was my ex, but I don't remember exactly. One of them started saying, why are you so quiet? Why didn't you actually say anything? Don't you actually care about how we move the items? Like, don't you actually want to offer your opinion? Don't you have any kind of thing inside of you that says that you want to share your opinions with the world? And it was really interesting to me, because I was like, but why? Why add to the noise when I already know that you guys are all talking about nonsense already? Not nonsense, but you're already talking, and I don't actually need to add to it. We already have three opinions on the table. Why should I add one more in just because I want my voice to be heard? I don't care about my voice being heard. I know what my voice is like. I know what my opinions are like. I know I have enough belief in myself that I don't need to share it in order to feel good about myself. So why would I do that? But of course, this individual and the people around me, they were all saying that, if I could, it seems like I'm very apathetic, and it seems like I don't care about anything. And that's the reason I don't speak up about things. So if I did speak up a little bit more, that would be great. It would give a little bit of a different persona of mine to different people, and I'll be able to perhaps get into more leadership roles because of it. The same kind of thing, the same kind of opinions was voiced to me several times when I was at a corporate job, and people would be like, you're way too quiet. Why is everyone else talking and you're not actually offering an opinion? And the same kind of idea came up to me in my head. I'm thinking to myself, that's the point. Everyone else is talking. Everyone else is kind of yelling over everyone else. No one's listening to anyone else's opinion. Everyone just wants to speak. No one actually is doing or taking any action over any of this stuff. We're like chickens or like hens, just cawing away, like roosters, cockadoodling away, like not even listening to each other, not even talking about anything, not having a conversation, but just voicing our opinions, right? It just seems like such a waste of energy. If I'm gonna voice my opinion, I'm gonna do it when I really feel like it actually is gonna have an impact and is gonna change the situation in some way, or actually really needs to be voiced. If something is happening that I really cannot stand anymore, if some kind of injustice is going on, or something where the person's making fun of someone, or if they're doing something blatantly wrong and I really need to correct it, then obviously I'll speak up. But I'm not just going to speak up for the sake of speaking up, right? And that's one of the reasons I think that my entire life and our entire lives as INFJs, we are looked upon as naive, gullible, innocent, and weak. We're always told that we come across as really weak. As soon as someone gets to know us better, they will realize that we're not, obviously. You'll realize that we're pretty strong, and we kind of hide it. We have an armor, we're really strong, but we hide it. We kind of hide it under a blanket, like a cozy blanket, a fluffy blanket, so no one actually gets the sense that we are so tough. But we really don't care. At least when I used to be younger, I used to care about this, obviously, because I didn't like being told that I was mentally weak. I was like, really? Am I really mentally weak? I don't feel like I am. I feel like I'm pretty strong. But everyone else used to think that way, so I was thinking maybe I am. And that was obviously the wrong opinion, the wrong advice that I was being given. Thankfully, I don't believe that anymore, but I wish that I hadn't been told that when I was younger. I wish that someone older had told me, no, you're strong enough as you are. People around you are just crazy, right? Maybe that's the reason I'm doing this video as well, is to tell all the younger INFJs out there who think that they're mentally weak, or who have been told that they're mentally weak. You are not actually mentally weak. You are not. They just have no idea what the hell they're talking about, right? Just because we don't actually have this freaking desire to always kind of share our opinions and push our opinions on other people and force other people to follow our opinion. Just because we don't care about all that stuff doesn't mean that we're mentally weak. It just means that we know that when we should speak up. We have an idea of when is the right time to speak up, and we're not just going to talk for the sake of talking, right? And so I really want you guys to kind of, if you do believe that you're mentally weak, really kind of make that differentiation in your head, because it's really important. I don't want you guys to have this misconception about yourself, because it's absolutely freaking untrue. It is not true, and I really hate it when people tell me that. Nowadays, when people tell me that, I just kind of shut them up right away, because I'm like, I don't want to hear this. I know who I am. I know what I am. I really don't need people telling me this. It's very rare that it happens now, obviously, but I really hate it when people make assumptions about us like that. Maybe this is kind of a rant more than a advice session, but hopefully it makes sense. I hope that I was able to convey my ideas to you guys. Again, if you guys have any questions at all about this video or any other videos or anything else, message me anytime. All of my contact information is in the description below, and I shall see you guys next time around. Bye for now.